Yo, what's going on? Navyvet88 back with another video. This video right here was something that was requested by one of the people who commented in the comment section on the related video, which was about the emergency truck kit. And in the emergency truck kit, or the emergency truck bin, they saw some things that they liked, and they wanted to get my opinion on the things that they felt were the bare essentials of what every vehicle that I feel should have. So I'm doing this video for you. If I can find your comment, I'm gonna place it and tag it inside of the video. I appreciate you for asking it, and I appreciate all of y'all for tapping in and watching the content. So first off, one of the bare essentials that I feel like every vehicle should have, which you probably guessed it, a pair of jumper cables. A pair of jumper cables will take you very far. And not only in this list are these things that I feel are essential for you, but also it should be essential for us to help our fellow man when we can. So jumper cables, these are just your standard jumper cables. You can get them for little or nothing from Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, Advanced Auto Parts, AutoZone, and the list goes on. Target, anywhere in the automotive section, you're gonna find jumper cables, and they're not that expensive, and they're worth the investment. You could probably get these for about 20 something bucks. So these are a nice solid pair of jumper cables. These are just another extra pair that we had laying around, and that's why they still have the zip ties on them. And then sometimes as a matter of fact, I zip tied these myself, and I try to zip tie a lot of things to keep them more compact when it's time for them to be stowed in the vehicle so that they don't take a lot of space. So jumper cables, I feel like, are the first essentials that you should have. A lot of times you'll wake up in the morning, car battery's dead. Ask your neighbor if you have a relationship with them like that. Hey, can you give me a jump? You at the store, car runs dead, no power, ask a random person. More than likely, they'll let you get a jump, especially if they drive a truck, because most people who drive pickup trucks let everybody get a jump. So, my first thing. Secondly would be a portable jack. Now, with this portable jack is rated for 2 tons. I'm not sure the name of it. Tech, that's whoever makes it. But I've used it plenty of times when I've been doing work on my vehicles at home, but I've never had to use it outside of my home. Having a portable jack will get you very far, because a lot of the times the ones that come regulated from the factory that are inside the vehicles are very hard and cumbersome when it comes to trying to get your vehicle jacked up and down. If you're not as strong, it might make it a little bit harder. Having something like this on a jack, a pressurized jack at that, or a hydraulic jack, you could jack it up just like here. And then it also has a lever at the bottom so that you could put in and decrease the pressure out of it, or release the pressure, should I say. So yeah, having a jack is what I feel like is a core essential inside of your vehicle. All right, next up we have jack stands. Now with jack stands, you have to make sure that your jack stand is regulated to the type of vehicle that you have. So right here we have a 2-ton jack stand, which is regulated for the sedans that we drive around. Not for my truck, but just for the sedans. So this will work just fine on the sedans. It may be intimidating for some who might not understand how to operate it, but it's very simple. If you come here, it has notches in it to set it at the adjusted height that you want it at. So how you would use it would be to jack your vehicle up to the height that you need it to jack up. You'll put your jack stand up under it and lift it to where you need it to be lifted, like so. We'll say, hey, you need it really high. And you'll slowly relieve the pressure off the pressure relief valve on your jack stand, and slowly let it fall down into here, and then it'll support the weight because it's rated for 2 tons. So this one is very easy to use. Honestly, they're pretty much self-explanatory. You just want to make sure that you're putting it up under the right joints up under your vehicle, because there are joints and beams that are specifically spaced in order for you to put a jack stand up under it, just like they have spaces for you to actually jack the frame up. Next up, we got gloves. Mechanical gloves are what I use, but they don't always have to be mechanical gloves. But you do want some gloves that's going to give you some type of protection around your hands, since your hands are going to be the most vulnerable and valuable thing that you have in a moment of needing to fix anything or get yourself back rolling onto the road. So having a good pair of gloves are essential to me. I have a pair of black mechanics gloves, And I have multiple pairs of mechanics gloves. I think I have maybe 3 or 4 pair. I have a pair in my range bag, a pair in my EDC bag, and I just really like the mechanics gloves, so I try to keep a few of them on hand. They are useful for all ranges of things, not just when it comes to mechanical. I've used these specifically in the yard, doing yard work, cutting the grass, anything you could think of, I've probably used them. I've gone to the gym and worked out in them. So these are very, very handy, and I feel like they should be essential when you're on the side of the road, because a lot of stuff you might have to touch could be hot. It could be abrasive and could cut your hands. It could be wet and you can't get a good grip on things. So getting a solid pair of mechanics gloves will take you very, very far. Next up on the list would be the coolant antifreeze. Now here we have some Prestone, which is usually universal brand that they do make, that they probably sell the most of as the universal kind. A lot of different ones you have to have added water to them for the antifreeze, and water, some people just go with the straight antifreeze altogether, but this coolant right here is for all vehicles, and you never know when you'll be low on coolant. Sometimes you might have to stop. You might have a lot of white smoke coming out. You find out it's the coolant. Maybe you have a leak in your hose or a frayed hose. Maybe you're just low on coolant. A lot of times people don't even check their coolant, more so than they'll use a dipstick to check their oil. So you could be really low and know that that's not what the issue is, and that's why your car's overheat, and it's because you have a leak in your coolant or it's just ran out of coolant altogether. So keeping a bottle of this in the trunk just in case will get you really, really far. The down part is, if you have an issue with your coolant and your coolant is low, you will have to wait in order for your car to cool down, because if you don't and you take that coolant cap off, it's gonna blow in your face, blow stuff everywhere, you'll get burned. You don't wanna do that. So when it's time to use the coolant, just know that if you're using it after your car's been running for a while and you've been driving, you're gonna have to let your car cool almost completely down before you take that cap off of it. And also having these gloves will really help with that, because when it gets to undoing that cap, it's a lot of pressure in there, and sometimes it can be really, really hard to take that cap off, depending on how bad your situation may be when it comes to your coolant reservoir, radiator, all that kind of stuff. Lastly, we got this power box here. Now on this power box, you can jump start cars. It has an air compressor in it and also USB power capabilities. So if you see up here, it has 3 sections to run 3 different types of USB cables. So if, say, the whole family is down side of the road, everybody can plug into this, and everybody keep their phones charged up. Here, it lets you know when it's on that it has a low, medium, and then a full section that lets you know where the battery is at. In the back, we have a set of jumper cables, and that's for the battery starter. So if you just have like a battery died out and you just need to get it pumped and just get it moving, slap this down, put the cables on, turn it on, get the car ignition turned over, get you some power to the alternator, and you can take it off and go to wherever you need to go in order to get that situation taken care of. Down here in the back, you can see we have an air compressor section, and I've used this plenty of times as well to put on my tires in order to move one of my older cars that have been sitting for a while and the tires were all low. I just used this, put it on, turned it on, boom, got all the tires filled up to the right PSI, and then I was done. So this is pretty inexpensive in comparison to other more expensive models. I think this might have been like $100 or less, more than likely, but it's very handy. Has a handle, has a little light switch right here that you can use when you have to set it inside of the engine bay in order to use the cables, or you need to use it so that order you can pull out the air compressor section to put air in your tires, and you need to see where the tire tube is at. So there you go with that. Like I said, it's not too expensive. It is the most expensive thing I would say on the table, but it is worth it also for the capabilities of what it can do. That's everything. I don't have any more essentials that I feel like are necessarily mandatory, but from what I've shown you, these are the things that I feel like for me are mandatory to have in all of my vehicles. The one unmentioned thing that I don't have in here right now would be the tire iron. And I have the tire iron, and if you have a vehicle that comes with its own tire iron, most of the times it's just like the jack, very cumbersome, very hard to operate. And so having your own jack, like I said, with this jack stand here, and having your own tire iron will make your job so easy in comparison to not having one and having to use the factory one. Because I've been there before where I had to use the factory jacks, and I'm out there cranking and twisting, and I got to pull it out, crank it and twist it and pull it out. Whereas having a jack stand, I just put it on, put some pressure down, pop the lug, and just spin it all the way off, and you good to go. So that's everything for this video. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully this helps somebody else out, and hopefully that you now understand what it is that are the essentials that I feel like you should have in your vehicle. And you don't have to have the whole kit. You don't have to have the emergency food, blankets, jackets, zip ties, tools. You don't always have to have that stuff. Some of us just feel like it is more necessary. So these things right here are the essentials that you should have. And once you have this, you have everything you need. So I appreciate y'all. Like I said again, like, share, subscribe. We have a review coming on a Primary Arms red dot, which will be coming up soon. Hopefully I can get some better audio next time. Hopefully I can get some better video next time. I'm trying to work on it. Y'all work with me. So I'm gonna holler at y'all, Navyvet88. Peace.